Hello everybody, welcome back to my video. Today I'm doing the Infinity War review, and it's kind of long overdue, but I wanted to wait until I could see it a second time, and that there's been a change of plans, so that's not going to happen, so I'm just going to make this now. First off, I have to say there will be major spoilers for this movie in case you haven't already seen it, which you probably should have if you wanted to, but major spoilers. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go into this movie spoiler-free. First off, to tackle the elephant in the room. What did I think of all the characters dying? And that is, I'm kind of sad about it. Not sad, but like kind of frustrated because we know they're gonna come back. When Black Panther was released in theaters, it was the highest grossing superhero film of all time. Spider-Man has already confirmed has a sequel, so I don't understand what makes them do this. I feel like it's gonna become like the X-Men movies where it's just gonna be a lot of time travel and stuff, and it's just gonna make it really confusing and this kind of like watching this movie pointless. Like, what's the point of watching Star-Lord die? He's gonna come back, which we basically know. The only Guardian who survived is Rocket, and James Gunn confirmed on Twitter that Guardians 3 will be the last Guardians movie with the current roster. So I'm not sure that means Gamora's coming back or not. Hopefully she doesn't, because that'd be kind of weird since he did use her to get the Soul Stone. But they're going to have to bring Star-Lord back. I mean, Chris Pratt, the actor for Star-Lord, said that Marvel was going to have to force him out the door to keep him from appearing in their movies. Speaking of the Guardians, Rocket's reaction to Groot dying was kind of like lackluster. Like, in the first movie, he was so sad and crying, and he lunged at Ronan. And this movie, he's kind of like, that happened. So I'm kind of frustrated about that too. That is where most of my major criticism is in, as I love this movie. I mean, we have Doctor Strange teaming up with Spider-Man, who keeps going through his portals punching Thanos, and he even webs Thanos in the eye. We have Thanos turning Mantis and Drax to the confetti, whatever that was. It was just such a good movie. We have Thor wielding Stormbreaker and almost killing Thanos. And I kind of wish it wasn't called Stormbreaker because that's Beta Bill's hammer. I wish they had called it Yarbjorn, and that kind of means metal bear, I think. But anyway, I wish they had it be Yarbjorn, because that was the enchanted axe Thor used before he had Mjolnir, at least in the comics. Another thing that I am kind of sad didn't make it into the movie was that one shot of them all running of all the Avengers in Wakanda running through the forest. That one had Hulk in the background, which he didn't appear in the movie, which I'm kind of fine with, but I don't get why they cut that shot from the movie. Also, that reminds me, the Black Order. They kind of didn't have a big part in this movie. I liked Ebony Maw because I think he did have the most screen time, but they just didn't really have that much development, which I guess Marvel is kind of just doing their thing there. Speaking of the Black Order reminds me of what they could have done to kill Thanos, or at least take the gauntlet off him in Titan. So you know how at the beginning of the movie, Doctor Strange used his portal to cut Cole Obsidian's hand off? Well, why didn't they do that with Thanos? I just don't get that. They showed them doing this in the exact movie. And this is one of those movies where you can just basically say, why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do that? Because there's so many ways they could have beat Thanos. Why didn't Doctor Strange use the time gem to turn Thanos into a baby and stab him? Or he could have turned him into an old man and then stabbed him. I mean, I don't get why he didn't use the time gem when he was fighting Thanos. And also, when they were all trying to get the gauntlet off his hand and then Star-Lord kind of went berserk, well, Doctor Strange could have used his sling ring, made a portal, put Thanos' hand in it, and then just close the portal, his hands off, then they can get his disembodied hand out of the gauntlet, and then, boom, they win. And then Doctor Strange can use it wherever. Speaking of Doctor Strange, that reminds me that in the comics, he has a spell that basically makes him and some other people immune to the effects of the Infinity Gauntlet. So basically, after Nebula gets it off of Thanos, Doctor Strange does this spell to, I'm not sure if it makes them exactly immune to the Infinity Gauntlet, but it does keep him from being reset like everyone else's when Nebula wishes everything before Thanos had the gauntlet. So in this film, if he could do that, he could have easily kept himself from turning to ash. And I'm kind of sad he turned to ash, because I wish they left more of the explainer characters alive. And when I call an explainer character, it's basically one of those characters that can explain to the main character what's going on. Kind of like Gandalf or Strider in Lord of the Rings. And now that I'm on the subject of Lord of the Rings, when Gamora said that the soul gem was on Vormir, well, at first I heard Boromir, and I was like, what? That can't be right. And then when they actually get to Vormir, and the Red Skull is in like his like wraith outfit thing, well, I literally first thought, oh, that must be a ring wraith. Like I knew it wasn't exactly a ring wraith because this isn't Lord of the Rings, but it just looked like one. It just really looked like one. And then Red Skull came, and I was kind of less creeped out. Because at first when he showed up, I was like, what is this creepiness? And then Red Skull comes, and I'm like, okay, yeah, it's fine. While I'm on the Soul Gem topic, people have been wondering, how does this fit into the Thanos name theory? And if you don't know what that is, which if you're on the internet watching a video, you probably should, it's basically the theory that the letters in Thanos' name spell out the locations of the Infinity Gems. So T, Tesseract. H, for the Soul Gem, would be Helgentar. I think it's how you pronounce. That's the system that Vormir is in. That's the star system. Or also you could do Hydra, but Red Skull's kind of like X-Hydra. So, yeah. And then the other things are Necklace for Time Gem, Orb for Power Gem, Ether for Reality Gem, and I think I'm missing, Mind Gem is in Scepter. One other thing that was kind of like meh for me in this movie was that each of the characters doesn't really have their time to shine. Like, you have the main characters, Iron Man with his bleeding edge, and then Doctor Strange, and then Captain America, and obviously Thanos. He has the most screen time, and Thor. But then the other characters are kind of like basically background people. Like Falcon, he barely has any lines. Black Widow does almost nothing. Okoye does practically nothing. Black Panther's just there for the end. Shuri's in a few scenes, and that's it. I mean, Vision is a big part. Vision and Scarlet Witch. Nebula doesn't do very much. Neither do most of the Guardians, except for that one Drax scene where it's like, why is Gamora? That was funny. But it's just, there's a lot of characters in it. It's like too much for each of them to shine. However, I do think they did get the Guardians down in this movie. And now I'm going to have to end this video. I don't want to make it too long because who has time for a 20-minute Infinity War review, am I right? But basically, I could go on talking about this all day, but I am going to end it now. So, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.